I'm sitting there looking at the thing and I'm going like, okay, I've never done anything like this with the schedule one. It's usually just and off you go. But how you doing? Um, I figured I would do something like this to kind of because I kind of mentally do this myself anyhow. After the 1 week is over, I get Thursday and Friday off. Um, Thursday I'm a possible sub. Friday I just don't want to bowl. I just need one day to kind of recoup. Um, I have my Saturday, and then I have two on Sunday. I have a sport league at Fox Bowl at 9 o'clock in the morning, and right now this week we just started the bat. It's 37 feet, and I think we've got that for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then I come home, have a bite to eat, and then in the evening I'm at Payless again for the Sunday mixed league. Saturday night is mixed league. I won't be doing anything this Saturday because I'm going to a wedding of a guy who I bowled with for a number of years. He's getting married. So there'll be no broadcast this Wednesday, I mean Saturday. Um, Last night was a lot of fun, but I'm kind of looking at, I keep track of all kinds of stuff like this. I'm, in case you don't know, for 43 years I wrote software, so I like tinkering around with numbers. That's quite an honor. uh, Thanks, Z, very, very much. Two paws up. I can't ask for anything more than that. And I did get your message, Doug, that about your bowling ball express. Um, I'm still on the fence for that, for going out to Vegas. I'm not a big Vegas guy. I personally, to be totally honest, I've never gone to Vegas. I don't gamble. The closest thing I ever came to gambling um, was we're over in Indiana. They had the riverboats, and we get a group together, my in-laws and my wife, and that we go out. And the way we did it was, I'd take $35, and you get your tokens. And uh, the first, my wife likes to play slot machines. I don't do anything. I just go along for the fun. And whoever wins, whatever she wins, what we would put in a little jar, and then she'd go through the next roll of $10 worth, and whatever she wins, we put in a jar, and then the last one, I just say just go until there's nothing left, so that you can actually have some fun. Then when she has nothing left, we look and see how much we got, and we would usually go out to a place called it's not around anymore, but Baker Square afterwards, and have some pie. So for $35, you had some entertainment and you had a little bit of a meal. But um, I'm not a big one on throwing away money because I'm not much of a gambler. Uh, Many years ago, I went to a birthday party of someone down the street, and they had about 6 or 7 guys, and I uh, I went ahead and they wanted to. They're all big gamblers, and I just kind of said I'm not really into that, and they would of course you say, "Oh, what's the matter? Are you afraid this?" And one of the things I used to do was magic. I still do magic. I'm getting back into it again, card magic. And so I told them, I says, it wouldn't be fair. And they said, what do you mean it wouldn't be fair? I says, I I can make sure that I could do whatever I want to do. And it's, oh yeah, sure. I said, well, give me the deck. And then I perform 2 or 3 magic tricks. They say, you're not going to play. I said, okay, fine. So that was my way of getting out of it. But I just don't. Over the years, you work so hard for your money. I just don't like throw it away because I'm not a real big winner on that stuff. But a couple of friends of mine who are bowlers actually do gamble quite a bit, and they're very, very good. So more power to them. I don't have that trait. Let's just say that um, I would gamble, but I would be giving it all away. So um, I'm kind of looking a little bit over what I did this week, and what did I do Monday? Well, that wasn't too good. I was into. That's what's going on Monday. Monday we have it's at Payless. And it's a men's league. A lot of really good bowlers there. And we're on a 30-point system. And the 30-point system basically you're going against the person that you're lined up with, position wise. And it includes handicap. And for each individual one, you get 1 point. And then if you took that game, you get 4 points. So you have five bowlers and four, and that's nine. And then you've got 9 times 3 is 27. And then if you take the whole series, and that's three. So it's a 30-point system. Well, last week, um, uh, they bowled very well. I mean, it it wasn't even close. We lost 25-5. Um, they were shooting 27, 279, 250s, 230s, and I'm looking at my score and 169, 170, 174. So that didn't do too good. I could not strike. Everything I tried, um, corner pins, four pins, lots of four pins. I make some moves. They just one of the things that they did, and this is kind of there's been some articles on in Bowler's Journal, and also there's some other stuff that's been on um, social media and stuff about how to if you get a good bunch of guys to transition and play the lanes, uh, you have one heck of an evening. Everybody does well, unless you mechanically have some issues or like miss spares and stuff. But um, there's two guys that immediately start. One's I think they're both. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they were both one-handers. Um, but they start over on the fourth arrow and in practice and well, high revs, lots of revs. Um, and near the third game, they have problem because you can't. I mean, the one guy on their team that which is the one that was had the most problems. I think his first game was like a 260 something. Second game was my 2 and his third game was I think under 200. Lots of washout splits, the wet dry kind of a situation. He by the third game he was going over the sixth arrow, and then when he hit the pocket, you get corner pins, and he's complaining, "Oh, the lanes are this." Well, first of all, you kind of helped you with the lanes, and also you at that angle, um, you're not going to carry. So Uh, I don't know what else to say on it. And we suffered for it. I could not carry. Two of their guys, I'll be totally honest, two of their guys just kind of like dropped the ball, had a nice release. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but a nice little release and dropped it, and they were fairly accurate. About four arrows worth of, I mean, four arrows, yeah. Yeah, over the thing. No, four boards worth of play between the first and second arrow, and they scored well. They just had really not a whole lot on the ball, but they were fairly accurate. I mean, if you can get within four boards for a house shot and stuff, you'll do okay, and they did. One of them was against me, so I won no points that night. I think his first game was a 260 something. Next one was like a 230 something. His last game was about 250 something. He just was rolling it right in. They had another guy who also was just kind of flicked it and went straight, and he was going there. I tried that and left corner pins. So that was not a great Monday night. Was not a great night. Like I said, we were 25-5. Uh, didn't go over too well. Um, looking at I keep all kinds of, like I said, I'm into this stuff. Um, what did I do Tuesday? Um, that's Wednesday. That was Monday, right? This is Monday. What Tuesday is? Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. There's Tuesday. Um, 2-1. Oh, that was a terrible one. That was last week. This week's Tuesday, I think I did a 611. The week before was terrible. Um, I had all kinds of problems. 138, 163, 144. That was that was one of those days that wasn't too good. But this week, I didn't update my sheet. Um, this week, I had here it is on my little sheet of paper. 172, 236, and 203. Um, here's the thing that made my Wednesday night really well. As you noticed, the week before wasn't that great. This Wednesday wasn't. Last Wednesday wasn't that great. Um, and I think Sunday wasn't too bad, but we'll get into that one. Last Wednesday, what was last Wednesday? 550. 185, 160. No, 185, 188, 179, 550. Um, I'm sitting there wondering what the heck is going on because I'm releasing it halfway. Oh, but you know how if you get really under the ball nice enough and you roll through it, at least for me, um, you you kind of get that feeling when you really let a ball off nice. And I wasn't getting that, especially with that 400 series on Tuesday, 2 weeks ago. And then on Tuesday this week, my first game was a 172. Now 172 is not that bad. I mean, it's just that, but I wasn't striking. I wasn't getting the rotation off the ball. And I'm wondering why it's coming off my hand, but I'm not getting that under, that I want to. And by now, if you go ahead and watched me, I do lift up on the ball. And a lot of people have told me, try and stay down because a lot of times you'll pull. And I've been working on that, even though it doesn't look like it. Um, but something was up with my 172. I came back, and if you listen to the thing, I'm talking to a couple of the guys on bowling. I says it's just not feeling right, and I says in practice, I was killing it. I had the phase two pearl, and I was just burying everything. But then I sat and thought about it. When I start practice, I'll be 71 this year, and I'm not one of these guys that can walk right up and start throwing at full strength. That takes me about 4 or 5 shots just to kind of get, you know, moving without killing myself. I always try and say my goal of practice is not to kill myself. Um, and I'm sitting there going, I told the guy, I says, what the heck is going on? I mean, I think I had maybe about half a dozen shots and 5 of them were buried and one of them was a corner pin. Um, and then I thought about it. Okay, I'm going at it at a slower pace, not throwing it slower, but my approach to the foul line is slower. And I'm wondering, I said, I wonder whether or not, let me try something. So the second game, I concentrated on making sure my steps were slower, not fast or slow from going to the line. I mean, I get about 12 or 13 miles an hour. If I get 15 miles an hour, call 911 because I just don't throw it that fast. Um, so I'm there, and I went up and I says, okay, I'm going to try and think that I'm practicing. In other words, I'm going to be very, very solid and smooth, but very direct. Just 1, 2, 3, pump up, like that. And I come back with a 236, and I said, oh, maybe there's something to it. I call it happy feet, and a lot of times, like I said, I'm not running up to the line. But I'm going like 1, 2, 3, like that, and it's quicker, not faster, if that makes any sense. And when I concentrated on saying, "Okay, let's make everything very smooth, methodical, and everything," um, I shoot the 236 and striking. Okay, so the third game, I said, "Okay, let me try this." I shot a 203, so I pulled out to 611. So on Wednesday, I kept that in mind, and we'll get to Wednesday. In a bit. Last night, the previous Wednesday wasn't that great. Um, all right, so Sunday. Sunday was not too bad. The Sports Challenge League, like I said, they on the bat pattern, any kind of a pattern. Have I tried I have not tried that. I saw that. Was it Sarah Clausen? Um, and she tried it on a thing. I don't know whether or not she's continuing to use it, but she tried it. I have not tried that. She put it on her index finger, and supposedly it's to grip, help your grip. Um, but Sunday morning, um, they kind of tore up the pattern a little bit. Um, and two of the guys, like I said, it's bat 37, and two of the guys brought out urethane. And how I talked earlier on the one kid who just on the house shot just rolled it up, between first and second arrow. This guy was 35 boards worth of all over the place with urethane. By the middle of the first game, nobody had a shot. I shot. What did I shoot on Sunday? Is that the challenge? Um, let's see if I got it. I did not shoot well, but I shot um, Saturday. Where is it? Was this it? Maybe. Uh, I shot. Maybe it was 443. I think it was. Um, I'm looking on my sheets. I probably should have this. Anyway, I think it was 443, and I was one of the highest on the team because everybody had problems because they were not. I could not figure it. I could not find an answer. Once again, it came off my hand. But I'm also wondering too. This was before I discovered my happy feet, and on Saturday I did fine. I think this Saturday I may have gotten. See if I got anything on here. I just printed these off so they're not in any particular order, and that's why I'm kind of looking kind of silly. Um, to Tinley Saturday. 1:30. No, I did better on Saturday. Um, I think I shot a 6 on Saturday. But the Tuesday was the noting of the happy feet, and last night on Wednesday night, uh, 2 weeks ago, I shot my first 700 of the year using the Brunswick Alert. That has actually been an amazing ball for me lately. Um, I did not purposely buy it. In other words, I got to get this ball. Um, I saw it. I think I saw maybe Brunsnick do a review on it, and he's very, very good on it. But I said, you know what? It's not that overly expensive. Let me pick up one. And then last Friday, I had drilled up. I had the um, Transformer, the Black Widow Dynasty, um, the Vengeance, and the Outer Limits Black Hole. And I had those drilled up, and I threw them. That may have been one of the reasons why Saturday I was not familiar with the balls, and the conditions really weren't that great for it. But I have enjoyed the Black Widow Dynasty. I think I brought that out on Monday near the end, which was a pretty good game. Um, the Outer Limits Black Hole, line up my solids of polished balls. One of them mainly being the uh, um, uh, Phase Two Pearl. That's a really good ball for me to judge what the lanes are doing. But has a lot of movement. I usually start. You'll maybe see Chris Barnes. He starts out on the right. In my practice, is what I do. I start on the right and throw it straight up, and then watch where the ball goes, and then make a move from there and keep on moving till I can start striking. Um, Instead of using the Phase Two Pearl, after I got the Outer Limits Black Hole drilled up, I figured I'd use that for a practice ball because it's a polished ball. And all the numbers and everything I don't know off the top of my head. Um, but I threw it. I stood over to the right, and I threw it about 6 or 7, and that thing just took off. And I go, okay, fine. So then I made a two board adjustment, and then threw over 10 and swung it out to about 5 or 6, and that thing just still took off. And so I went ahead and I moved, two more boards and threw it out there, and it still took off. So uh, the lane conditions on that was apparently. the ball was super aggressive, so I put it away, and I didn't use it. Um, so for me, like I said, I'm about 12.8, 13.5, as far as speed. I don't know what our revs are. I have some, but um, the joke was something like an EJ Tackett or an Anthony Simonson, but they get in one throw. I can total up and I can add that up for my whole night. But uh, I normally throw the, like I said, the phase two pearl because it's a nice ball. And then last night on Wednesday, um, I was reminded of my happy feet, and I was really saying, okay, I really want to concentrate on. So in practice, I went ahead and made sure that I did not, have the happy feet, and I I look I wasn't striking, but I was with the phase two pearl. Um, it was uh, it was it was hooking an awful lot, but I was also getting wet dry because I'd make a move and then I'd get a washout, and I move back a little bit to right, and I was there. So I knew that I wasn't going to be using that ball for the for to begin with, and which is kind of standard. I'll practice with that, and I'll usually go. Lately, has been going to the alert. Um, but it gives me an idea of where I can kind of start, and then figure out where my feet is going to go and what my target is at the arrows and down lane. And so last night, um, I threw it. Like I said, it wasn't anything great. And I go ahead and I put the ball away and I bring the alert up, and I had the front, I think front five or front six. Um, that first game was absolutely phenomenal. I think I shot a 236. Let me see. Where's the Wednesday? Anyway, it was a good day. Now, here's another thing that's important. The team that we were bowling against were all pretty good bowlers, and so our transition. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Our transition was phenomenal as far as going through the first couple games. The last game, I had a 236, 233, and all with the alert, and was making a board move with my feet at the time, still keeping the same target at the arrows, around 10. And I was hitting it within one or two boards, mainly maybe 11, 10. I wasn't really going to nine. And I was getting to a point where we started going in third game. And I think I opened up with a strike. I can't remember, but it was okay. I was still on the alert. And then I had to start migrating because I'd throw it and I was starting to go Brooklyn. Starting to come on the head pin. I go, okay, fine. So by the fifth frame, I had already moved like about with my feet, like about six boards. And with my speed, um, I hit the pocket, but I'm not carrying anymore. I'm leaving 10 pins, just soft 10 pins, which means the ball's burning up. Now, what do I bring out? I kept on through this up until about I think the eighth frame. I kept on moving, and finally, I buried. Well, obviously, it was not perfectly flush because it didn't strike. Um, but I did hit it, and I left us a weak 10, and I just said, okay, I can't do this anymore. So the eighth frame, there's eighth frame or ninth frame, maybe it's ninth frame. I went and I saw something on the YouTube. I think it was Thomas Larson. If you ever get a chance, I mean, he's a lot of fun to watch. He's very, very um, uh, he talks very, very nice in the way that you can understand. Um, Very matter of fact. And he was talking about, I think his one thing was the four balls that are going to be a staple, four or five balls that are going to be a staple. And one of them he mentioned was the Typhoon. He says, when the lanes are kind of fried up and messed up, he says, I like to bring the Typhoon out. And he showed some examples of that and was talking about it. So I figured, hey, I got a Typhoon. I'm going to bring that. Normally, I would have uh, the Motive, I think Nebula, because that's really good on when there's a lot of friction or transition on there. It's been a very good ball for me. I think what did I shot one night? I had a really, really high friction house. I think I shot like a 656 or 670 something or other. It was really good. This day I got the ball. So anyway, I said, okay, I've got the transformer with me, and I also have the Black Widow. I says, you know what? Let me try this because it's polished, you know. And my first one, I went to the right, 'cause not knowing exactly where to stand. I know it wasn't going to be exactly the same as um, my alert because I had moved all the way so far left on the alert. So I throw the first one. I threw it probably around 9 or 10, but I was probably almost even with it. So throwing it straight up, and it took off. And I figured, okay, that's fine. I think I left a 610, and I picked it up. So now I'm going to the 10th frame. So I make a two board adjustment. Figured, okay, this should probably take care of it. Well, guess what happened? 12810. There went my game. My last game was a 168. That I just ended up with a 637, I think it was. But yeah, 637. A couple of our other guys had a 676 and 675. I certainly probably could have been in the 640s or 650s, especially with opening up at the 10. I did miss a 10 pin last night, which is frustrating for me. But all in all, I'm not going to be one who complains about a 635, especially with the first two games. Um, if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have brought my RST Hyperdrive Pro because I can go very, very deep with that one and have it still come back. But I wanted to try the Typhoon. And the reason why is I'm going to be doing a regional in February 28th. February 27th is practice 28th. And then if you qualify, which I'm not expecting to, because I'm looking at the names now that are starting to come there. And you got Tom Hess coming there, Parker Bone coming there. It's like, okay, it'll be fun. The RS I normally will bring when I know I have to get deep left, but I wanted to see what the Typhoon would do. Um, I don't know if I'll bring it to a tournament, but I use my leagues pretty much as a founding ground for new balls that I get um, um, there. So you got what you got there. I have a Black Widow ball. Let's think about different transformer. Is there a significance between the two? Um, I noticed from me throwing it, the transformer has a little bit more of a snap at the end. It is surfaced at 4,000, not a box. So that may be a little bit of stored energy going through the mids. Where the Black Widow is picking up the whole way. I think that's 2,000. It's smoother for me. Um, but I will say that Transformer um, is good for later in the block, where I probably would not use the Black Widow for later in the block. Um, and that's when I did use it. And I think the one time I used it in the third game, I think I may have had like a two teen off of it because I put it up there. Yeah, it was the third game. It was the third game on Monday. And first ball, I figured let me start up because all the other balls I said, like I said, we were having we were getting creamed anyhow. First ball, I went up there, I threw it. I was between probably about 12 or 13 at the arrows, to about 5 or 6 down lane, and that came right back and just whacked it. So it had plenty of energy. So if you're going to use it late in the block, for me, I would go to the Transformer versus the Black Widow Dynasty. If I'm at the beginning of a block and there's a lot of oil out there, I will certainly try the Black Widow Dynasty. Like I said, it's 2,000 grit out of the box, and I have tried that, and it has done well. So it depends upon when you want to use it. I would not use me personally because I don't have the speed and revs. I would not use my Black Widow Dynasty late in the block. I would rather use the Transformer. If that wasn't too good, well, then I would definitely go to like the RST Hyperdrive, or maybe even the Zero Mercy Pearl. at this point in time. Something polished to overcompensate for my lack of speed and revs. Otherwise, just things take off. I have used um, the regular RST hyperdrive. I was in a tournament and I was having all kinds of difficulty. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. Yeah. The Magic Gem is an excellent ball. I've got one of those, and I have used that. Like I said, because of my lack of speed um, and revs, I'm working on the revs thing. I have to consider to try and store energy the best I can. You want to chase the oil line, but sometimes if I chase an oil line with a solid, just me, I'm not, anything. I get into some problems. Now, when would I go to a solid um, late in the game? If the pearls that I use, whether it be the RSD Hyperdrive, whether it be the Nebula by Motive, whether it be the Zero Mercy, if I started getting really wet dry, where all of a sudden I'm either Brooklyn or I'm washing out, I definitely would put all pearls away. I know I got to store energy and stuff, and that's when I will try and follow um, the oil line. Or sometimes what I'll do, I did one time in one tournament, I got the Raptor Rain, and I moved right and threw up 7. And by golly, that thing was phenomenal. And that was even on a sport shot. So if I start getting wet dry in the end, I get away from anything polished because that's just telling me that I personally can't manage that with my speed and revs. And I will go back with a solid because I know that at least there will be some energy that's burned up, but not that much. Balls that I like to use in that situation might be the transformer. I try and get the higher grit. I've used the absolute power. That's a 4,000 grit also, so that it will not store as much energy for me with a pearl, but yet there'll be enough energy at the back to go. Last night with the alert, it was just burning up. There was nothing more I could do, even though it was lane shined, it just burnt up, and so I had to get out of it. If I had to do it again, I would probably would go to the transformer. I wanted to see what the Typhoon would do. Bad idea. I just never, like I said, it was wet dry. Ninth frame, went Brooklyn. Made a couple board adjustment, 12810. So I didn't listen to myself, but I wanted to try it. And the game was already pretty much lost as far as no 230s, no 220s or anything. I was going in the 130s and stuff like that in there. So if I could get a 170 out of it, I'd be happy. 175, I got a 168. But if all that doesn't work, and would try the solids, I'd try the pearls, I would try everything like then I bail out and I'll either use the level or I will use that NU20. The NU20 by Hammer reacts more, but I also have the N is successful at throwing a urethane ball. I do have the Black Pearl. I've got the IQ78. I've got the um, oh, what is that? Radical. Um, and I just I've got to learn. I'm just not that good at it. But I have found that the level or the NU20, the NU20 has a little bit more of an action than the that I have found for me than the level, but the level is good too. So if I throw the NU20 and I can't keep it on the lane, I'm going to the level. It doesn't react as much for that, and I've been successful on both. If the NU20 is working well, and what I'll do is I will throw probably around 7 and out to about 4 or 5 down lane. I have tried throwing from the right and throwing like the third and fourth board. Um, my speed, unfortunately, is slow enough that sometimes it just overreacts and is going Brooklyn. So I've been pretty good on getting about 6 or 7 and then trying to keep it maybe about 5 or 4 down lane. And when the NU20 works for me, it's a phenomenal ball because when it hits flush, There's no sound. It's just like boom. The level, I don't have. If the NU20 is going too much for me, then I will go with the level, and that's basically when I've got nothing else to do because I'm having all kinds of difficulty. I'll see other people throw other things and they're just striking like crazy. Well, they're good. They either got the speed, the revs, or something that I don't have, and I have to compensate for my game. Um, the tournament that's coming up at the end of the month in Crawfordsville, Indiana, um, is going to be on 40 feet. And I'll be right back. I printed out the pattern. I didn't get it before I started. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's called the 2026 Regional 40. And I don't know if this will show up too well, but I will try. And that's what it's kind of looking like. So we'll see how that goes. I definitely will probably bring both the NU20 and also the level. That'll be a staple. I will definitely bring the alert. That's been a really good ball for me lately. Um, and I probably will bring the RST Hyperdrive Pearl and the RST Hyperdrive Solid. And I'll probably also bring the Zero Mercy pair. And of course, my Phase 2. And I might bring the Phase 2 Pearl, but definitely Phase 2. I'll probably bring the Raptor Rain along with that. And then I've just got to decide. I might bring um, the Transformer. I might bring the Vengeance. I've got to throw that a little bit more. Um, I've thrown it a couple times, and on the pair that I was bowling with, I think it was Saturday night. Um, we were on a pair that was just extremely reactive, and it was just too strong of a ball, so I put it away. But I probably will bring that and a couple others. One, a couple balls that I usually bring to every tournament, no matter what, is my RSTX2. I love that ball, and I will probably also bring my Theorem, and not the Theorem Solid or the Theorem Pearl, but the Theorem, the original Theorem, as those two balls, the RSTX2 and the Theorem, have usually been a pretty good ball for me. But we will see. I will not bring any urethane at all. Like I said, I need to work a little bit more on it. But then it's again, do I really want to work on it? I'm not against urethane, but I've seen a lot of people throw it at tournaments, and they're doing things with it that I can't do. So it's a learning process for me. But my main thing, and I normally would bowl Saturday, but I have to go to a wedding Saturday. So Sunday Sport League will be my next time bowling. And I'm going to concentrate, like I said earlier, what I noticed on Tuesday was not to get the happy feet. Um, that seemed to work quite well because it seemed like when I was at the line, the timing was there. And I was able to get under the ball and through it. And I was able to get the action that I wanted to get, or at least expected to get. If I threw it bad, I knew it was going to be bad. But that's that I'm tracing now down to the happy feet situation. So all in all, had a couple of two or three 600s. The one really bad 400 on the Saturday, and then I think it was a 550 or so. So I've got no complaints about this week. 2 weeks ago at the place I got last night, it was at Centennial in Tinley Park. Um, it's not a bad house. They have difficulty with their oil machine, and I'm not too sure whether that's mechanical or human problems. Um, there usually is at least one pair a night that breaks down. One night we had four pairs break down, so that was a miserable thing. Um, about a month ago, my first game was a 245, and our lanes broke down. I had the front three on the second game. Our lanes broke down, and I barely made a 500. think it was 5-0 something. Because they brought us down to 1 and 2, and the ball that I had used for fresh was all lane shined up, and I really didn't have a whole heck of a lot to do with the fresh no on 1 and 2, and they didn't even give us any practice, so it was just like boom, boom, boom. Although, in all fairness, one of the guys on the other team shot a 300 on 1 and 2, so there it is. I'll never sit and complain about a lane condition overall, but I definitely will say that if I'm having difficulty, um, I will. It's my problem, and I wasn't able to adjust. So um, you can complain about the lanes and all this kind of stuff, but if somebody else is scoring pretty well, it's yeah, the lanes may be it, but it's a challenge for you, and it's not a challenge for him. Um, if the lanes were all really that bad, then nobody would score good, and that's not the case. So I've given up on, never got into the habit of complaining on lanes. I'll just say I had a bad night with the lane conditions for me. But other than that, um, I'm kind of looking at that new radical ball that just was announced. I forget the name of it right now. Um, I'll have to think about that. I was thinking about getting the. Um, there's a couple other ones I was looking at, but I think I'm okay. um, since I just got the four drilled up, I still have some balls that I haven't got drilled up yet. I want to get the Viking drilled up. I heard that's pretty good. I do have it. I may get that drilled up for the tournament. But once again, with me and short patterns, that's always been a challenge. The Dale Ballard has always been that's the 36 foot. With this one being, how many mils does this got? The region 40? Oh, 29 mils. That's not too bad. Uh, that's reasonable. When it gets really, really dry, like I said on the Dale Ballard, um, that's what makes the World Series so much fun. The first pattern is Dale Ballard, so if I'm going to have any depression, it's going to be there and it's going to be out of the way. They follow that up then with the Monticelli and then the Petraglia, which is usually one of my better patterns because it's 46 feet. And then they got the Marshall Holman. I'm looking forward to that. I it's going to be interesting this year because it's not going to be at Dave Smalls, and it's going to be probably at a house that I've never bowled at. So I'm looking forward to that. And what has me most excited about that is that the Worlds for the PBA 50 is going to be covered on the championship round is going to be covered on national TV. And I've done enough complaining in the Bowl TV chats as well as when I'm walking past the Bowl TV cameras with their microphone. I'll sit there and says, why don't we get the PBA 50 World Series? That's all I'm asking for. World Series on national TV. So I don't know if it was anything that I said, but I certainly said it enough because I firmly believe that um, we all watch these champions when they were in their younger days. I'm not going to say their prime because what was it? Charlie Tapp shot a 300 and he's 74. So I'm not going to say in their prime. I'm going to just say in their younger days. And they were on national TV. Your Parker Bone, Pete Weber, Chris Barnes, all of them, and Norm Dukes and stuff like that. Um, and now that they just go to the senior thing, all coverage of them other than Bowl TV, with thank goodness for that. Anybody who has not subscribed to Bowl TV, you've got to do it. It's when we watched ABC and the weekly shows and Nelson Burton and Chris Schenkel and all that, we'd see the best of the week and we'd expect to see best, and we do. Um, with Bowl TV, you're watching qualification. You're not going to see the best. You're going to see me, but you're not going to see the best of the best. You're going to see some people bowling good games. What was it? Last year, no, 2 years ago at the South Shore, day two. First game was a 247. Next game was 135. So you're going to see that. You're going to see missed 10 pins. You're going to see, the stars, but you're going to see a lot of bowling. And people say, well, what do you want? I just want to see the championship. Well, no, um, me watching. these guys, and bowling with them, which is just an honor. You learn so much. I will definitely say that my league play is 200 times, 300 times better because I'm bowling with these guys. Some will offer you some advice. Otherwise, you just watch them. What balls are they using? What adjustments are they making? How are they playing the lane? What's the pattern? And the thing that's nice about that is that when you're bowling with them, you're experiencing their conditions. And your ball is not doing anything what their ball is doing. So you're going to sit there and say, what are they doing? You're not going to be able to tell them that, but you're going to just at least get some ideas. And then you'll say, okay, let me try this. Let me try that. And whether it be a ball change or whether it be a zone change. Um, I was doing um, a regional about 4 years ago, and the lanes transition had really gotten um, out of control. It was just getting messed. It was hard for everybody. And so I reached into my bag and I pulled out a phase two. And I think I shot like a 190 something or other. Well, one of the other bowlers that was bowling was crossing with me, turned around and says, that's not a bad idea. So he pulled out his phase two and he ended up getting like 240, 236 or something. He says, thanks, Gene. So, I was able to help him. But that's the kind of thing that you see. You see what are people playing? What are doing? And I've been fortunate enough to either cross with or cross next to what was it this year? I think four times with Pete Weber, once or twice with Tom Hess, Chris Barnes, a lot of these guys that I respect, and you watch what they're doing. Parker Bones, same thing. Even though he throws left-handed, what's he doing? And it's just a great way to learn. So I'm looking forward to Crawfordsville. Um, this year, because I think it's like 2.5 or 3 hours away. This year, I'm going to bite the bullet because I have points, and I'm going to stay the night because a lot of times when I drive, I did it a couple of years ago at Billy Froberg's Ruth Froberg Memorial up in St. Joe's, Michigan. I figured that's only 90 minutes away. Oh, that was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I always said I said you could throw a barn at the end of the lane. I couldn't hit it, but so I'm going to be probably spending the night. I've booked a room and looking forward to that. Um, Other than that, I want to also take this time to thank all of you for following me. It is fun. The Wednesday night, I don't bring. What I have is I got a separate device here, and because I can't really chat on the one that's uh, uh, filming, and the Wednesday night at Centennial, like last night at Centennial, I'm glad I get a halfway decent signal because that building is dead. Um, I used to know a good friend of mine had run the pro shop in there, and he said he had to go off the house Wi-Fi because he says he couldn't even get his phone to ring. It's almost like it's built in lead, um, but it's not public Wi-Fi. So when I'm recording, I'm basically going any signal of the 5G that I can get. So sometimes it'll be spotty. And my device here, I could go off the hotspot off my phone, but that's taking away from the signal, and I don't want to do that. It's more important for me to get the video and then deal with that later. So on my Wednesday night, I'm not able to chat. On my Sunday morning at Fox Bowl, the first day I bowled there, we're new to this league, and you have to be pre-approved in order to join the league. Um, and so I started setting up my equipment, and a guy came over and he said, "What are you doing?" I says, "I record for my purpose." "No, you can't. It's forbidden here." So my Sunday morning league, I cannot even bring out my phone to record anything at all. My Sunday mixed, which is in the evening, I definitely do record. Payless, I bowl Saturday night mix, Sunday night mix, Monday evening men, and Tuesday afternoon seniors. And I'm able to. I always record off of 5G, but I can get on my other device on their local Wi-Fi, which is free Wi-Fi, and I can chat then with you guys. Um, and I appreciate everybody who's following me, watching me. It's been kind of fun because I've captured a couple of 300s Last Wednesday, um, the one guy, he was, I think he's 60 years old or upper 50, 60. That was his very first 300, and it's captured. Um, and so I've, put a little memento for that, so I feel good about that. But I really do appreciate everybody following me along. And as long as I can keep on doing it, I'll do it. And we'll see what this week brings. Like I said earlier, got to concentrate on my happy feet. That definitely made a difference on Tuesday. Going from a 172 to a 236 is quite a bit. And the difference is that in the 172, I was not. I think I maybe missed 110 pin, but I was not carrying. I think I had 2 or 3 strikes. The 236 had a heck of a lot more strikes. I think I had maybe about the front six. So um, that's letting me know, and it even feels right. If I'm got and like I said, it is not a speed thing. I just say happy feet because the feet, you know, are going in a way that the timing is not there. And when I reach the line, um, I'm not really positioned in a pot. I don't plant. I plant, but I don't post shots. I always fall off my shots. I've been trying to work on that, but I've been working on that for over 50 years. So I don't know if it's going to be a quick one. But I have tried to do certain things, being up a little bit more, not leaning forward. But I'm finding out when I got the happy feet, the timing at the line is just enough wrong that I can't get under it, lift through it, and get the shot that I want to, you feel good about. When I slow that down, in other words, it's a more regimen type of walking. Um, I'm able to get under it because I actually have a fraction of a second, even though I don't post. I'm at the line and my arm is able to do what it needs to do without other parts going. I think when I got the happy feet, I'm going, but as I'm going at the same time. I don't know. I have to take a look at the video and see what the difference is. And that Saturday, this Saturday would be a perfect example. And when I get a chance, I will. But I do notice I feel different, and I feel it as it's coming off of my hand. So, other than a bad ball change last night, I should have probably had closer to a 700, but I won't complain on a 637. Other than that, I appreciate you following me, especially today. I think I'm going to do this on a weekly basis because Thursday, unless I sub, and I subbed a lot more last year on Thursday because the team that asked me, he bowled with his father and his brother and stuff. His father hurt his knee and wasn't able to bowl, so he says, "Hey, can you help me out?" And out of the 35 weeks, I think I bowled 16 weeks. This time, I think I've bowled, maybe 3 times. Let's see. I'll check. I think it's only 3 times. Uh, yeah, I bowled 3 times. Uh, the one night that I got the Nebula, um, that was a great night. Got it drilled out. I ordered it the day before. I ordered it the day before. It was delivered to me, and okay, right. Oh, okay. Shoes definitely have a difference. I've got the nines because my old ones, everything fell apart on. And the nines have been very good because I can swap the soles if I need be. Um, Yeah, 11.5. So 11.4, I had ordered, or 11.3 or 11.4, I had called up Motive and I says, hey, I want to pick up this ball. And they shipped it out there. I had it the next day. I called up, I said, hey, can I get this drilled? I got it drilled. And right from going to drilling, I went out to bowling. So I didn't do anything. I shot 227, 194, and a 236 for a 657. And the best part about it was 30 clean. So that is my first 30 clean this year. Oh, these are sneakers, do sliding at all. That's not a bad idea. I'm a planter. Um, yeah, I'm a planter. I'm not a slider. I actually tried earlier this year to slide, and for the first time in my life, and honest to God, first time in over 50 years, I fouled. And I look down, my foot's right over the line. I go like, that's a first for me. So I plant. Because normally when I plant, I'm planted about 6 inches behind the line. So whenever there's any kind of foul light, I'll look at my feet. And I'm these. six to 4 to 6 inches behind. This time I was trying something with sliding and I slid and I went right through. So I'm still back to planting. Um, but I do know a lot of people that have the sneakers because they plant. And actually, when you sit and look at it, the sneaker has got built-in stuff for compression, so you're not going to be banging your knee too bad when you plant. So that's not bad. But like I said, the Nebula was a great ball, but there has to be friction. And the house that I was bowling at, which is Tinley Bowl, has some friction, at least for me. And it was just I had it for the first 2.5 games, and then I went to I think it was the Zero Mercy Pearl, and finished the game off with that. But I moved left and just slowed it down a little bit. But we shall see. I guess I want to bring the Vengeance out. I'm probably going to put the Typhoon, which I threw last night, probably put it back in the box and save it for a rainy day. It was an experiment last night that did not go well. And I should have known. That was my mistake. Whenever there's a possibility of wet dry, don't bring out a polished ball is my rule for me. And I did, and I made the mistake for it, and I paid for it. But other than that, I'm looking forward to the coming week, and hopefully, if I can keep in my mind the happy feet, which is my main goal. And then also the other thing that I've been working very, very hard on is making sure my hand in the ball is almost limp loose. In other words, no grip pressure. I don't really grip, but I know that I do some little bit, or not a massive grip, but I know that when it's coming back, there's still a little bit of pressure, not a whole lot. I've been working on that. And between that and the happy feet, got me a 236 and a 203 last night. And not last night, but 236, 236, 233 last night. And on Tuesday, 236, 203. So that's what I'm working on, and we shall see if it's successful. I want to try and get at least a battle plan for Crawfordsville. I'm looking forward to that, even though it's 40 feet, because I just enjoy being out there. I don't think that's going to be televised. I don't think anything. It's not that big of a bowl TV type of thing, but if I and I'm fine with that. I'm going to see if I can at least record it, and then if I have, I'll put those up there. But we will see. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the coming week. Definitely do not do any bowling tomorrow. Um, and like I said, I didn't get called to sub tonight, which I don't think I will, because he has a pretty good team, a number of people, because his father said he wasn't going to be bowling anymore. But other than that, I'm putting the Typhoon away. I will probably bring out the RST Hyperdrive Pearl in its place and still stick with the Typhoon, the Black Widow Dynasty, definitely the Alert. That Alert, it, I bought it off a whim. I saw it and I says, you know what? I wonder what this is. I didn't even really investigate it that much. I said, let me try and see what it is. It's one of the better purchases I made this year. So that and the Nebula by uh, Motive have been two very, very good purchases, but that Alert is just phenomenal. As a matter of fact, also one more thing, and then we'll probably wrap this up. Um, Last night, like I said, I had I think the front five, and then I had uh, either a 9 pin or a 10 pin or something like that. I had to take a look, but 236, 233, and one of the guys on my team says, God, I got to look into that ball, because I even had another guy. Um, uh, he's on a different team, walked up to me and he says, I've been watching you throw that for the past couple of weeks, as I had to go out and buy one. And he says, my first game with it was a 256. So a little side note, I tried to sign up as an affiliate with Bowlers Mart to try and see if I can get in a position where I can offer a discount through Bowlers Mart. Um, for you people, all the bowlers out there who watch me. Unfortunately, I'm for some reason, I guess I don't meet up to their um, specs of what an affiliate would be, and they rejected me almost the same day. So so much for that. I tried to do that. Um, it would have been nice because I know I've sold um, at least four Motive Nebulas from people watching me bowl. I guess it's to a point. I actually years ago. Oh, what was I forget the name of the ball? Um, Trend, the Trend. I was bowling at Oak Forest. Unfortunately, that place burned down. I was bowling at Old Forest, and I think I shot like a 650 something or other. Uh, I had guys come back the following week with trends, and they says, "Gene, if you can shoot like that, I definitely can shoot like that." So that's my way of selling a ball. I said, "Hey, if Gene can do it, it's like the old commercial. Hey, let's check it with Mikey. Mikey hates everything." Um, it was kind of funny. So I know I've sold four of the motive balls. I've had the people come up and tell me. On last Monday night, I was shooting with the transformer, and I had a couple guys walk up to me and says, "Can I take a look at that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm definitely getting one of those." So I don't know. My small amount of referrals may not have been too much, but it definitely uh try it. I don't do it to sell balls. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not on staff by anybody because I try all brands um that I can use. Unfortunately, now we can't use Columbia 300, so I had to get a new spare ball this year because I had a white dot and now I got the T zone. But I I at least do sell some stuff. I wish I could be in a position that I could offer a discount for everybody, but unfortunately that won't happen. I might try later, but I'm not that worried about it. Um, other than that, um, I'm gonna try and wrap this up because I know you all got lives, and I appreciate you stopping by today. Uh, keep me posted on what you're doing. I'm always love hearing about it. And I will not see you Saturday because I'm going to a wedding, but I will see you Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, I do believe, or 6:30 at Payless. And then Monday, I'm at Payless evening in the men's league. Tuesday at Payless Lanes for the senior league at noon. And Wednesday at Centennial evening for the Wednesday night men's league. They call it the Patton Keglers. So, with all that, thank you again for stopping by today and listening to me just chit chat. I'm going to try and see if I do this on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. And just to go through what I went through the week, the high points, the low points being a 400 series, the high points being a 635 and a 611 back to back. So keep in mind, I got to keep out with my happy feet and remember to stay under the ball and loose in the hand. So with that, thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you next Thursday to review what I did, good or bad, and I will see you on the lanes. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I really appreciate you stopping by. Take care and happy bowling. You're welcome.